I knew the value equation had flipped when a drive-through meal rang up close to a sit-down lunch and still left me hungry. And the theatre charged more for a seat than my monthly streaming plan used to cost for an entire library. At some point, convenience quietly rebranded itself as a luxury tier. Today I am walking through 10 things that once made sense but now drain more than they deliver. And more importantly, how to spot the pattern so the next trend does not slip past your guard. I am not anti-fun or anti-treat. I am pro-results, which means measuring what we get for what we give. If this style of calm, practical money experiments helps, consider liking and subscribing, and drop a comment with the last purchase that felt weirdly overpriced. I collect those stories and test them. The core problem is simple. Prices moved faster than perceived value, and a lot of categories added fees, shrinkflation, or watered-down perks while we were busy trying to keep life running. The result is paying more for the same or less, and then blaming ourselves for not feeling satisfied, which is a clever trick by marketing departments everywhere. The 10 categories on my list hit food, entertainment, travel, education, status goods, and even healthcare. So there is likely at least one spot where a few small changes could put real cash back in your pocket without any sense of deprivation. The goal is not to live like a monk. The goal is to stop funding someone else's margin when the joy, utility, or durability is gone. I will keep the tone relaxed, the math clean, and the trade-offs honest, because clarity beats guilt every time. If you want a one-line summary of the plan, here it is. Buy fewer things that fade fast. Buy better versions of what lasts, and rent the excitement instead of owning its depreciation. Now let's map the situation so the fixes feel obvious instead of forced, because once the pattern is visible, it is hard to unsee it, in a good way. Most people do not wake up wanting more stuff. They want more options, calmer mornings, fewer surprise bills, and the quiet confidence that a curveball will not knock everything over. Money's job is to buy options and reduce stress, and that job is measured in flexibility, not flex. My favourite quick test for worth it spending is a simple price-to-value check, where value means durable utility, real health, or a memory that remains strong after the novelty fades. If a purchase reliably gives one of those and does not sabotage other priorities, it is probably fine. A second test is cost per use, defined as total cost including fees minus likely resale, divided by the number of uses or hours you will actually get. That creates a fair fight between a $150 item used 150 times and a $15 item used once. A third lens is the replacement trap, where something cheap today forces expensive maintenance or frequent replacement tomorrow. This is where appliances, accessories, and certain subscriptions quietly siphon cash. The outcome we want is a wallet that funds essentials without anxiety, funds fun without shame, and pushes surplus into future freedom so compounding has time to work. On a normal income, that usually means hitting a few simple targets. An emergency buffer equal to a few months of core bills, consistent investing into a low-cost, diversified fund, and a lifestyle that does not sprint ahead of pay raises. The last piece is permission to like what you like. Taste is personal, but math is universal. If a category flunks the math but matters a lot, pick a specific boundary and make it great inside that line. A beautiful steak dinner once a month can beat aimless takeout every week. That is the North Star of this episode. Carve out a few overpriced habits that no longer serve the life you want, and redirect that cash into things that clearly do, because alignment feels better than austerity. The reason this gets tricky is not a lack of willpower. It is friction we do not see. Shrinkflation is when the package quietly gets smaller while the price stays the same. The calories and utility fall, but the bill does not. Convenience premiums add layers like delivery fees, service fees, and tips on top of inflated base prices, so a $12 item casually becomes $20. Attention moves toward the initial sticker and away from the out-the-door total. Incentives also changed. Many companies cut service and raised prices after demand snapped back, and a lot of those new fees stuck. The hedonic treadmill, which means we adapt fast to upgrades and then feel normal again, makes it easy to keep chasing the next tier without any lasting bump in happiness. That is not a character flaw, it is human wiring. Lifestyle inflation, which is when spending rises to match income, quietly resets the baseline, so yesterday's treat becomes tomorrow's expectation. Social comparison tilts the map further because our reference group shifts faster than our pay, and the bar for what feels standard moves, even when the budget does not. Add in the sunk cost effect, where we keep pouring time or money into something because we already started, and the trap is set. Half the categories on the not worth it list rely on those biases. This is why a $15 theatre ticket feels reasonable next to a $20 VIP option, even when both are mispriced. The anchor is the upsell, not the actual value. To cut through it, I want a mechanism that is simple enough to use on autopilot, but honest enough to sting when a habit is coasting on story instead of substance. That mechanism is next, and it is just math plus a short pause, which beats wrestling with willpower every day. Willpower gets tired. Math does not. Here is the mechanism I use. Effective cost of enjoyment equals total cost minus likely resale plus all fixed fees divided by realistic hours of use or enjoyment. Total cost includes price, taxes, and any mandatory add-ons. Resale is what you could actually get in a normal sale, not the dream number. Hours of use should be pessimistic on purpose. Then I run a second pass I call the stamina check, asking whether the quality holds up for the intended lifespan, because a low per-use cost is meaningless if the thing fails early. Let's put real numbers on that. Assume a movie ticket is $18 and you watch for 2.5 hours. That is about $7 per hour before snacks. A streaming plan at $16 per month with 20 viewing hours is $0.80 per hour. If a midweek casual restaurant meal is $16 with 45 minutes of actual enjoyment, that is $21 per hour. A home-cooked $6 meal with the same 45 minutes is $8 per hour, and you control the leftovers. Stat, wallet, local. If takeout averages $15 per person in a mid-sized city, that is $30 for two. In the account, that hits as one casual dinner replacing two grocery meals. In a high-cost city, the same meal hits $40 and crowds out transportation or a small debt payment. Now apply the stamina check to appliances. A $700 washer lasting 7 years costs about $100 per year. A $1,000 washer lasting 12 years costs about $83 per year and usually washes better and uses less energy, which lowers utility bills. That is how higher sticker price can be cheaper. The pause comes before purchase. Run the numbers, set a boundary, then decide. 2 sentences can save hundreds over a month. One says what this costs per hour or use. The next says what this replaces. When I run the filter for a normal week, a few swaps self-select. The obvious ones do not feel like sacrifice, and the savings compound quietly. Suppose quick meals drop from 4 times a week to once. Theatres become a once-a-month event, and small status purchases get replaced with one planned splurge each quarter. The calendar still has fun, but the bank account stops leaking on low-return defaults. The short-term win is cash flow, which simply means money in minus money out, becoming comfortably positive. If core expenses are $3,000 per month and income is $4,000, shifting $200 from convenience premiums and $150 from impulsive upgrades produces a $450 monthly surplus. That surplus funds an emergency buffer, then kills high-interest debt, then fuels investing on a set schedule. Rules of thumb can help until the habit sets. The 50-30-20 guideline, which allocates 50% to needs, 30% to wants, and 20% to saving and debt payoff, is a starting ratio, not a law. A light weekly review keeps it real. Any category that felt stale or disappointing loses budget, and any category that carried its weight gets the green light. Over a month, the not worth it list shrinks to a few intentional exceptions. Over a year, the freed up cash stacks into a proper safety net, travel that feels earned, and investment contributions that begin to compound, which is how money makes money while life happens. The best part is how fast the stress fades when purchases align with values. The brain stops waiting for the next shoe to drop. If you're skeptical, start with one swap for 2 weeks and measure mood and money. A single clean win will do more to change habits than any pep talk. Fast food used to be cheap and predictable. Now it is an expensive coin flip. In many cities, a basic combo sits at $12 to $14 before tax. Add a second person and a shared extra, and you are at $28 to $32, which is firmly in casual cafe territory. Stat, wallet, local. If a 2-person drive-through totals $30 once a week, that is roughly $120 per month. In the account, that equals a utility bill. In a high-cost city, the same order can hit $36 to $40 and crowd out a small debt payment. Portion sizes have not kept up with the price, and the quality is inconsistent. That is planned disappointment, not planned indulgence. A simple substitution beats the whole category most days. A supermarket rotisserie chicken at $9 with bagged salad at $4 and a loaf at $3 feeds 2 people for under $8 per plate, and leftovers become sandwiches. If the goal is speed, batch and freeze. The cost per serving drops below $4 and flavour goes up. Food trucks tell a similar story. What started as scrappy and affordable now regularly charges $13 to $16 for a handheld meal, plus tip, plus the hunt for somewhere to sit. That price competes with a neighbourhood counter spot that offers water, a chair, and a bathroom, which matters more than Twitter makes it seem. If the truck is a true standout, treat it like a small festival moment and go without apology. Just do not let an expensive novelty become the new baseline. A cleaner default is to plan 2 fast, high-flavour meals that live in the pantry and fridge, so the 6 p.m. decision is a yes to food at home instead of a yes to fees. Your future self will be grateful. Convenience is still allowed. It just needs to win the math.
The theatre used to sell magic. Now it often sells ads, upsells, and a chair lottery. Standard tickets in many markets run $15 to $20, and the premium seat surcharge can push that to the mid-20s. Add a drink and popcorn and a single night crosses $30 easily. Stat, wallet, local. 2 tickets at $18 each plus a shared snack at $12 is $48. In the account, that is a week of streaming across multiple platforms. In a large city with premium seating, the same night can cross $60 and match a nice lunch for 2. Meanwhile, home soundbars and mid-range TVs narrowed the gap dramatically. Effective cost per hour drops as the gear gets used. A $600 TV and a $200 soundbar used 500 hours per year for 3 years costs roughly $0.53 per hour, and the marginal cost of a movie night is a snack from your own kitchen. The question becomes when the big screen actually adds value. Event movies, comedies with a crowd, and visually massive films might pass the filter, while middling releases can wait. If the ritual matters, go matinee or weekday, skip premium seats, and treat the concession stand like a museum. Observe, appreciate, and keep walking. Memberships that bundle multiple screenings for a flat monthly rate can make sense if the math stays honest. If 3 films a month cost less than 3 individual tickets and you actually go, the per hour rate improves. A simple safeguard is a 24-hour delay on impulse buys. If the movie still calls tomorrow, it probably earns the trip. At home, curate a small rotation instead of adding yet another subscription. A single plan at $16 with 20 hours watched beats 3 plans barely used. The goal is not to avoid theatres, it is to pay for the few that still feel like an occasion rather than a tax.
Online courses started as democratized learning. Too many now sell recycled content wrapped in aggressive marketing. The pattern is a $499 promise that gates basic modules behind a slick checkout and then delivers what free playlists already cover. The missing pieces are feedback and accountability, not secret frameworks. Stat, wallet, local. A $499 course paid on a card at 20% APR can cost more than $600 if carried for a year. In the account, that equals months of platform subscriptions, with community features. Locally, a library or meetup offers feedback for free. If education is the goal, prioritize programs with live practice, structured projects, and measurable outcomes. Or pay for a short coaching block aimed at a single skill. That is an accountability premium you can justify. Now, travel. Airbnb used to undercut hotels by a wide margin. Today, a $120 nightly rate can become $180 after cleaning and service fees, and checkout chores seem to grow as the price climbs. Hotels responded with mid-scale options that include breakfast, daily cleaning, loyalty points, and human support when something breaks. Stat Wallet Local. 3 nights at a $120 Airbnb that totals $540 after fees can be more than a $150 hotel totaling $450 with breakfast included. In your wallet, the difference funds activities. In many cities, that shift also reduces hassle. There are still great hosts and unique stays. And for groups or longer trips, a house can win on space and kitchen access. The filter is total cost, location quality, and reliability. A simple move is to price all fees up front and compare apples to apples against hotels within a few blocks. Let the best package win instead of the best vibe. Travel should feel like a break, not a second job with a chore list taped to the fridge door. Decades ago, a major appliance felt like a one-time purchase. Now, many feel tuned for short lifespans. Planned obsolescence is when a product is designed in a way that shortens its useful life, which increases replacement frequency. It is great for revenue and terrible for budgets. The antidote is total cost of ownership, which includes purchase price, expected lifespan, energy use, repair likelihood, and parts availability. Stat Wallet Local. A $700 washer lasting 7 years is $100 per year. A $1,000 machine lasting 12 years is about $83 per year and often cuts water and electricity by $5 to $10 per month, which pays back the premium. In your account, that difference adds up faster than it sounds. Third-party extended warranties rarely win the math unless failure risk is known and parts are expensive. Better to buy reliable models and maintain them. On jewellery, natural diamonds do not hold retail value in the way people imagine. Resale is often half or less of the purchase price, and lab-grown stones offer similar sparkle for a fraction of the cost. Stat Wallet Local. A $6,000 ring sold used can fetch $2,500 to $3,500. In the account, that is a $2,500 to $3,500 lesson in markup. Locally, jewellers will confirm that brand names add cost more than longevity. If the goal is symbolism, a smaller stone with excellent cut or a non-diamond gem can look better and age well. Designer sunglasses and luxury suitcases ride the same curve. Premium logos carry brand tax without adding durability that matches the price. If travel is frequent, mid-tier luggage with great wheels and a solid warranty beats a status shell likely to get scuffed or lost. If sun protection is the point, polarized lenses plus a case beat fragile fashion frames. I like beautiful things. I just prefer beauty that survives a Tuesday. Health insurance in the US is a maze, and in some markets it feels like paying a lot for the privilege of paying more later. A high deductible health plan, defined as one with a deductible above a government set threshold, usually pairs with a health savings account that lets contributions go in pre-tax, grow tax-free, and come out tax-free for qualified expenses. It is a powerful tool when premiums are lower and you can cash flow routine care. Stat Wallet Local. A bronze plan at $350 per month with a $7,000 deductible versus a silver plan at $550 per month with a $3,000 deductible changes the annual premium by $2,400. In the account, that $2,400 can fund an HSA. Locally, if typical annual care is under $1,000, the bronze plan plus HSA often wins. But one pricey procedure can flip the result. The move is to price your likely usage honestly, read the coverage for preferred doctors, and run worst-case math. This area rewards a spreadsheet more than any other. VIP tickets have similar math. A $120 general admission ticket versus a $300 VIP upsell that delivers a different wristband and the same crowded view rarely wins the filter. Stat, wallet, local. For 2 people, that upsell is $360 extra. In the account, that is a month of dates or 1 excellent dinner. Locally, smaller venues or weekday shows often give better views without the tax. If comfort really matters, seated sections at a smaller show beat velvet rope vibes most nights. On dating apps, basic messaging now hides behind subscriptions at $20 to $60 per month, with boosts and super options layered on top. It adds up quickly. Stat, wallet, local. 3 months at $40 is $120. In the account that is a cooking class or a hobby meetup that improves conversation skills and odds. Locally, community events change the pool entirely. The through line is the same. Pay for real advantages, not shiny labels. Here is the part most people miss. The not worth it items hurt because they sit on top of a heavy cost stack. In a normal month, housing might take $1,400 to $2,500. Insurance across health, auto and renters takes $300 to $600. Loans like student or auto take $300 to $700. Childcare can reach $800 to $1,500. Transportation, fuel and maintenance runs $400 to $800. Groceries $400 to $700. Utilities $150 to $300. Phone and internet $60 to $150, and dining out another $250 to $600. If income after tax is $4,000 to $5,000, there is not much slack. That is why a handful of $20 to $60 decisions determine whether the month lands with a surplus or stress. Geography multiplies the effect. Same salary, different city. At $70,000 gross, a rough take-home might be around $4,400 per month after taxes and basic benefits. In a high-cost city with rent at $2,800, housing alone eats roughly 64% of that net, leaving $1,600 for everything else. In a mid-sized city with rent at $1,200, housing is about 27%, leaving $3,200 for the rest. The exact numbers vary, but the pattern holds. City math can turn a fine salary into a puzzle or a comfortable runway. If relocation is not on the table, category swaps still move the needle. Fast food to home cooks, theatres to curated streaming, VIP to early entry, courses to targeted coaching, diamonds to meaningful alternatives, food trucks to neighbourhood counters, Airbnb to mid-scale hotels, and appliances chosen for longevity rather than flash. A simple maintenance rhythm cements the gains. A weekly, 5-minute money check to scan upcoming charges. A monthly hour to reset one category, and a quarterly hour to review the big 3 of housing, transport, and insurance for better deals. Okay, back to the big picture. This is not about saying no forever. It is about saying yes on purpose. If this helped clarify a few overpriced habits, like and subscribe, and tell me the one swap you will test this month and the dollar amount it should save. I will reply with a quick tweak if you want an even cleaner win.